Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I have the pleasure of being with a lovely, beautiful human being I call my friend, Claudia Rogron. She is a graduate of the Trauma Energetics Coaching Certification Program. She's actually been doing this work for many years, and I'm super excited to have her with us because I'm really excited to hear her story of how she got exposed to this work and how it has transformed her personal life and how she uses it now with her clients. So, welcome, Claudia. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kimberly. It's such a treat to be with you in this setting.
Hmm.
So, my journey with this work started in 2004. I had I was the mother of a 4 and a 5-year old, and I just knew I had known for a while that in my family of origin, which is a French one, um, I had issues to address, unspoken issues, and that I actually, as a young mother, I did not want to carry on, pass on to my children. And when a friend of mine, I was homeschooling at the time, mentioned what Laura Fine was offering, I just jumped on it. I just made it work in terms of freeing myself for a 3-hour workshop. And it was I remember that workshop, and I remember the exercise and the way Laura Fine held the space and created a safe environment for each participant to actually explore and maybe discover some new aspects of ourselves. And so the exercise consisted of, after we came back to a calm sense of our being, away from our lives and responsibilities, we paired up, and with consent, so to speak, we were invited to take turns where one person was putting her or his hands on the shoulder of the other person, so behind her or him. And we had our eyes closed. We did not have something on our eyes, with just our eyes closed. And we were taking turns gently guiding the other one in the room. So taking turns, one time we were just following the response, having someone deciding where we were going, and the other time deciding where I wanted this person to move gently. And just this exercise got me hooked, basically, from what I discovered inside me. Basically, that I was not comfortable being what I perceived pushed, even though he didn't push me. it just brought me back to my reality and the family that I was creating with my young children, brought me back to even as far back with my father, family of origin. And from that, just that simple exercise, I had to come back. I had to come back, which was a long journey, a few years. I graduated from that program like within 5 or 6 years. I was just taking classes whenever I could. There was a class called Body and Soul, which was definitely life-changing, because at one point growing up, I think it's important I say, I realized that in my family of origin was not a good idea to say that you're tired. It's like, I'm never tired. Okay, that's it. I took the decision, and later I realized that feelings were not a good thing to talk about or show much. The intellect mattered.
So when you started taking classes with Laura at Lionheart back then, it was kind of the connection of the messages you got as a child and how you now were showing up as an adult based in your family of origin and the messages that you got. And that first exercise that you did in that workshop with Laura, did it like bring you back into your body and have you realize, you started realizing that you weren't really connected? Is that what I heard?
I was bringing back in my body, not so much, because I was dealing with my emotions through exercise, intense exercise. So it just made me, it was a slow journey, made me realize, this is what I'm feeling. And when I shared it in the group, oh, this is valid. That can happen. It's not a big deal. So that was more, it was more validation that I was okay feeling that, and that I could even talk about it.
So the guided exercise brought you to a place of understanding of your own emotions, and then the group dynamic where you were able to share that gave you the experience of validation.
Exactly, Kimberly. Yeah. Beautiful. That was it.
And is that what you were hooked on? You got hooked right away, you said. Is that experience of having that connection and validation?
Yes, exactly. So I knew Laura, who actually changed my life. I did come with parents that gave life to me, but she changed my life because I got to discover a new part of myself, and I got to open up. And each time I was in the classes, the workshop, I was coming back, and I knew there was going to be validation. And at the same time, I was learning some life-changing tools of being able to step back a little bit and stand in my objective observer self, step back and notice, oh, I'm triggered right now. This is what's happening. I still have a choice to surrender to the trigger, or maybe there's a different way to be. Maybe I don't need to show this right now.
So you were hooked, and you took class by class, workshop by workshop, and eventually got certified in what we called then transpersonal energy healing.
Right. And So I was a massage therapist, and through this first training, my practice changed because I was aware of energy healing, and it started to bloom. I had more clients coming in because I was able to be more present with them and really holding space for them and stepping out of just the body as a set of muscle, beautifully orchestrated, but still looking more at my clients as matter. If we talk about energy and matter, the Big Bang. So I was very aware of the quality of my touch, going progressively through the different layer, very aware of even their auric field. When I first approach their beautiful self on the table, it was not so abrupt. So I was working more with energy, including, of course, the physical touch, stretching of the muscles.
But you were showing up differently and holding space for them differently.
Exactly. Yes, thank you. And so through that experience, in the end, as I honored my feelings more and other people's feelings too, I found myself asking for a divorce, which was inconceivable before. And I was able to navigate, the consequences of that in my family, with my children. If I had not had that training, I would not have been the fuller, more whole person that I became, and the stronger person to trust that I could step out of this family unit I had created. And then be present with my kids' feelings when the time was right, as I honored their journey to the best of my abilities with the tools that I learned, to regulate my own nervous system and give myself the care and the love to the best of my ability, so that I can share that with the people around me.
So quite a transformation you went through personally once you were exposed to the work, and you brought it to your personal life, but also your career as a massage therapist and a body worker. What does your work look like now, Claudia?
So in the end, no matter my physical self and my physical strength got to a limit, let's just say, and I knew I had to make a career change. And when I reconnected years later with Laura, I took another certification, took another course, to seal up and really own those skills. And I understood that this is a work I had to pursue. I understood that I could let go of massage as a source of income and just step into really my calling, because so now with the tools I have, I'm able to help people look at and gently address the energy under those patterns of contraction in their bodies. It's like the source of their pain that was manifested physically, but the source is really energetic, emotionally. So this is deeper work. And I figured that in my mind, if I'm able to have tools to be at peace with myself and share those tools for people, for my clients to be at peace with their own selves, to have the courage, as they have the courage to look beneath the physical layer. This is my small contribution to possibly world peace. I mean, really, because it starts with us at the microcosm. It starts with us, to our family, our community, the way we hold ourselves. So if I can share some of those tools, possibly to make a difference.
Yeah, I love how you were able to name that this is your calling, and you let go of doing the work with massage to now really focusing on your calling, which is helping people really get to the root and energetically get to the root of their suffering and their pain. And now you're doing this as full-time career. You've let go of massage and you are now completely doing this work, transpersonal energy healing work with your clients.
Yeah, I'm calling it body mind coaching. One full word, no capital letters for mind, because it is one unit. Has to do with, remembering, rediscovering, and owning our wholeness, our aliveness, so we can each follow our calling and contribute that way with all the people that we come in contact with and that we love.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it started with you being curious enough to show up to a workshop with Laura Fine and watching her work. And I love that you named, how she held space for the group. That's what I was so impressed with when I first saw her too, is her capacity to really be present and hold space for her client, but also for the entire room of people that were gathered there in her training.
And then Kimberly, I have so much respect for what you chose to do and follow her mission and teach with such strength and presence and clarity and intelligence, emotional intelligence, knowledge. So I feel so honored to be part of Somagetics and help you support the message.
Thank you. Yeah, I think all of us that knew Laura had this similar experience of just being in awe, watching her and her capacity to support clients and to teach this work. And the first time I saw her work, I thought, oh my gosh, I want to be just like that. She's such a master at it. And it's a thrill to be able to pass the skills that Laura was able to really name and define these simple skills and teach these simple skills. And that's the mission now that we have at Somagetics. And I'm so honored that you've joined us as a member of our teaching team to help other practitioners learn these simple skills, to have that kind of presence, to hold the space for the clients or for the group that they're working with, and to be able to really see that essential self inside of others, right? To help them awaken to that essential self inside of them, right? That natural healing capacity that we all have. You know, as we say, we're not healing our clients, we're helping them by facilitating their capacity to heal themselves.
Sure.
Yeah.
Certainly. And it's such beautiful work. It feels magical at times.
Sitting with a client and guiding them through this process that Laura created for me is very magical, to get to watch them come to life with their own sense of their inner self and being more identified with that beautiful essential self than with the wounded self that we all have from our family of origin, right? But to be able to blossom into their potential is magical for me as a practitioner.
Right, right. And it's such a privileged place to be, to actually get to see, you know, the gift, the
Yes.
gift coming out of the womb.
Mhm. Beautifully said. Well, thank you so much, Claudia, for sharing your personal transformation, your experience with this work, and how you're using it now. We will be sure to put your information in the description box below for anybody that is interested. What is your website?
LuminaBodyMind.com.
Wonderful. So we will put that in the description box below for anybody that is interested in learning more about Claudia or reaching out to her. You can find her there. Thank you again so much for joining us with sharing your story and your personal transformation and how you're now using this work. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.